What's your name and who are you?
My name is Brian B. Miller, and I'm a kid from Queens.
Homegrown.
New York, New York. So nice, they named it twice. They say if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. But the thing is, if you can make it here, you don't really need to try to make it anywhere else. The people, the energy, the tension, it molds you. As iron sharpens iron, one person from the city sharpens another. New York made me. The same way it made so many before me, and it will make so many after me. This is homegrown.
Doc, what's up, bro?
Good, man.
I'm chilling. You know, I'm gonna get right into it.
Let's do it.
What does homegrown mean to you?
Homegrown is where you're from, man. You know what I mean? It's not where you're at, it's like where you're from. If these streets could talk, they had a lot to say, man. So, homegrown is just where you're from, man. Queens means to me everything. It's my backyard. I mean, I was born here, I was raised here, and hopefully I'll die here. You know, Queens is everything. It's the culture, it's the food, it's the slice of pizza around the corner, margaritas.
Bro, I haven't had a real slice of pizza, I want to say maybe 10 years. And then today, I had a real slice of pizza. So
margaritas,
I feel good.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
You know, Queens is everything. It's this guy blasting that bullshit music right now. You know what I mean? In a piece of shit car. You know what I mean? That's Queens for me.
How did your perspective change from Queens as a kid to now? Or did it even change?
Yeah, it changed, man. Like, the thing that I realized is that Queens is far. Like,
mad far,
it's
bro.
mad far. Like, you don't realize it because you're from here, you know what I'm saying? But like, when you're traveling, when you go to the city, you know, Manhattan, or you meet somebody, be like, yo, where you from? And you be like, Queens. You be like, Queens? Queens is mad far. And we on Jamaican, that's the last stop on the E train. So you don't realize that, you know, you're really cut off from the world, you know what I'm saying? Because Brooklyn, if you live specifically like in the Bed-Stuy, downtown area, it's close to Manhattan. Mm-hmm. The Bronx is close to Manhattan. So, you know, Queens is like, it's far. It's further than I thought.
Do you recall the first time you was identified as being from Queens?
You know, it's just one of those things, it's like, it's in you, it's innate. So it's like, you don't realize it until you go elsewhere, right? So when I go to Brooklyn, you could tell a Brooklyn cat versus a Queens cat. It's like just the way we dress, the way we talk, it's a little bit different. It's just a different swag than the other places. So that's why it's almost like you can identify just by the way I look, by the way I dress. You know what I mean? A Harlem nigga might be a little bit more flashier. Example. Meanwhile, like a Queens cat is more, it's flashy, but it's kind of like understated flashy, just a little bit. It's subtle, you know what I'm saying?
You know, all 5 boroughs is fly for me.
Everyone got their own style.
Everybody got their own style, though. It's different. Like, you went to school in Delaware, right?
I went to school, went to high school here, born and raised my whole life, but went to college in Delaware State.
Right. What was it like out there being from Queens?
That shit was a culture shock, man. Like, you gotta understand, like being from New York is its own place, right? Its own planet. Right. So it's like my first exposure to like Dickie suits, you know, like Timbs with the Chucker Timbs, beards. You know what I mean? Like,
that had to be a culture shock from coming from out here.
Yeah, it was like, what the fuck? And this is like early 2000s, right? So, you know, I'm coming up there, you know, we can spy us out of town like the way that we walk.
Right.
Yeah, I'm from New York, man. Fuck everybody else. That's my philosophy when I went down there. I lived up to all the stereotypes. New York is a cocky. Y'all think y'all the shit. Y'all think y'all better than everybody. Yeah. They hated us. It's like New York versus everybody. So it was a culture shock, but then I realized, like, yo, it doesn't matter where we're from, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it matters, because there's always a pride to you, but at the same time, it's like, yo, embrace different cultures, you know what I mean? Like, it's a pride thing too, man. It's like, yo, we're from New York City. Like, it's the mecca of culture, everything. Like, hip-hop, fashion, music, like, this is where it's birthed. So it's like we carry that pride no matter where we go.
Right. You think being from Queens presents a bias in your writing?
not necessarily my writing, but it makes me biased to my music.
Because you do have a certain palette
It does.
of music that you fuck with, and you're not afraid to say,
It does.
I don't fuck with that.
You know, I can't fuck with it, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, here's a great example. If you listen to a New York artist, right, a brand new New York artist, the first thing you're gonna say, where you from? You say, New York, all right, what part? And then you be like, okay. Then you're gonna have form of bias to it, you know what I'm saying? Because if he's whack, you're like, fuck. Why you gotta be from Queens? Why you gotta be from Brooklyn? Shit. But if you dope, you got your chest out. That's how I felt when 50 Cent emerged. You know what I'm saying? When 50 first came, it made you feel like, yo, I'm from Queens, because 50's like from down the block. So when G-Unit was a global thing, it went from a local thing to a global thing. It was like, yeah, we from the same area, from the same neighborhood. And you know, you form a bias to that. So I got love for everywhere else, but it's always great when it's like the home team is represented. When Nas and Jay was beefing, you had to go with the home team. I was still Team Jay, but it's like, yo, I was like a secret.
Because I was about to say, because even though you're a Queens nigga, you like, you know, you're real Jay-Z-ish with your approach.
That's the guy.
Your whole shit is Hov.
That's the guy,
so,
man,
you know, how was that, like, that time in Queens?
It was
like,
hard. You had to pick.
What was the energy out there?
You had to pick a side. Like, you literally had to pick a side. And, you know, I was like, I'm going with Jay. I mean, I like Jay. I was like a closet Jay fan. I'm still a Jay fan. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, I can't turn my back on Nas.
Right, because he's from where I'm from.
He's from the neighborhood. He's from there. I mean, he ain't from here, but he's from the other side, but he's Queens. You know what I'm saying? So he had to represent. So there was definitely a lot of tension. A lot of arguments started. A lot of fights happened. Because you know how it go, right? Jay-Z better than Nas. Nah, Nas ain't this. Well, Jay-Z got more money than Nas. No, he don't. Well, I got more money than you. Well, fuck you.
That's how arguments used to go, though.
That's how they used to go. So that's just how it was. But definitely I was Team Nas all day, though, during that time.
See, I was Team Hov. I ain't gonna hold you. Yeah, but you and Elliot both being from Queens.
Yeah.
Was there a shared bond that helped solidify y'all relationship?
Absolutely.
Bond of what's hot and what's not.
Absolutely. Like, we definitely have that bond. In fact, we started, technically Rap Radar was created in Queens because we met at the Georgia Diner on Queens Boulevard.
That's great.
And he said, yo, I got this idea to start this website. We ain't have a name for it yet. And I was like, all right, I'm down, you know what I mean? I'm down with whatever you want to do. And fast forward, you know, a couple weeks later, we met with Paul Rosenberg, Eminem's man. He's like, yo, the name of the site's gonna be called Rap Radar. I was like, the Rap Radar? What? That sounds weird. But when you say it more and more, it had a ring. It's like, no, it don't sound too bad, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that was the origin story.
What album best describes the essence of Queens?
For me personally, it's my favorite album of all time. People often ask me, what's your favorite album? It's Lost Boys, Legal Drug Money. It's their debut. Like, when you listen to that project, to me, it encapsulates Queens. It represents, it sounds like the neighborhood. It feels like the neighborhood. Like, from the Yearn, Lifestyles of the Rich and Shameless, Renee. Like, I know the places, I know the locations that he's shouting now. I know the people, the spots. So, like, for me, when I listen to that album, it feels like home. So if you drive around South Jamaica, Queens, it's like, yo, to me, that is the soundtrack to the neighborhood. Like, that's my favorite project of all time, personally. So I would say Legal Drug Money by the Lost Boys. What about for you?
For me, it had to be Between Life After Death and The Blueprint, and then Come Home With Me too. That was another album, because that album was Harlem.
Yeah.
That was what Harlem felt like in the early 2000s. You know what I mean? Like, it was a soundtrack. It was a score for us.
See, for me, that's like my second favorite Cameron album.
Come Home With Me?
Yeah, I love it. I'm an SDE guy.
I'm an SDE guy.
SDE to me is like, it sounds like Harlem, and it was so autobiographical to Cam that I loved it.
What you want? You want the bottle?
Yeah.
Thank you. See?
Yep.
That's Queens right there.
That's definitely Queen shit. Now you good, mama. You good. You good.
She hustling.
Yeah,
She get that nickel. No doubt.
Describe Queens in one sentence.
Describe Queens in one sentence. I think Prodigy did it best. Queens get the money. Long time, no cash. That's it.
Yo.
That right there says Queens in a nutshell.
So being from Queens and interviewing Hov.
Yeah.
How was that?
That guy. it's surreal, you know what I'm saying? Because first off, I've literally had this guy's poster on my wall growing up as a kid, you know what I'm saying? Like, I had the Hard Knock Life poster over my bed. So it's always surreal whenever I'm in Jay-Z's company. It's like, what am I doing here? It's crazy because every time we did it in Malibu at the Soul House, you know, can't have no filming in there, but somehow he made a call and it got approved. And it was just a great conversation. It's still surreal. People still talk about that interview 3 years later, like how it changed their life and it was so inspiring and motivational. So for me, that's like the best part of the whole thing. But whenever I'm around Jay, we always end up in a Brooklyn versus Queens conversation. Always, never fails. Like, I think he got something against us, man.
Yeah.
I really do. Like, we talking about the weather, we could talk about sports. Yeah, man, I'm Queens niggas. Like, what are we doing?
He had a lot of smoke with Queens niggas.
He always get that. That's what it is. Prodigy, Nas. I don't know, man. It might be a conspiracy.
Best Queen story never told.
Best Queen. Oh my gosh. I think the best Queen story that doesn't get told enough is the story of how Ja Rule and 50 Cent started to hate each other. If you go back to the Coliseum block, right? The Coliseum block is legendary, right? The ice cream video was shot there. LL Cool J Shut 'Em Down video was shot there. And also Ja Rule's Murder for Life video. So Ja Rule has the Coliseum block shut down. It's crazy. But 50 Cent wanted to kind of like see what was going on. But because Ja was so up, and I guess 50 wasn't really being embraced by the Murder Inc. guys, and because Supreme was with them, they kind of shunned 50, and like that whole conflict started from that particular video on that particular block. Like that was really the kind of the genesis of everything. So that to me is like a story that doesn't get talked about enough, that significance of that block than everything, so.
That's real.
That's a real Queen story.
What's the first thing that comes to mind when you hear Queens get the money?
Think about Prodigy, man. Think about getting some paper. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a legacy. You can't be, I mean, there's poor bum ass niggas everywhere, but it's like, when you come from here, it's like a legacy. You gotta live up to the tradition of getting money, man. Like, you come from a place where Russell Simmons comes from, and hustlers and legal entrepreneurs as well. Like, you gotta have some paper, you gotta have something to your name. So that's what I think about when I think about that line, man. It's getting some money, man, getting some paper. Money ain't everything, but shit, not having it sucks too.
Yeah, that's a fact, that's a fact. It's the Kush God Smoke DZA, and with my brother B. Dot, we in Queens right now. Everything's homegrown. I say between those two,
bees everywhere.
Yeah, they everywhere.
Killer
like,
bees.
And it's like this motherfucker been following me since yesterday. It's the same beat.
Cut.